Twitter literally every single time. Alright, we're back again. Fingers crossed. Because I did switch it over to performance mode in terms of the presets. And hope that fixes it, maybe. Let's actually check on the edit screen before we hit transition over to the live. Nope. I'm looking at it right there, and it drops down to 39 FPS. Then it swings back up to 60. But it's like, it's just having these weird dips. And then it's like, oh, well, the stream quality is good. And it's like, is it? It's hard to believe that it's actually good when you literally are telling me it's experiencing issues. Like, as it currently stands, I haven't dropped any frames. Like, transition over to live. We are currently doing pretty good. Give ourselves, like, a mini preview, I guess. See if maybe that helps not fuck up the system as much. Oh, the live looks like it's having issues, so frame rate's starting to drop a bit. I'm wondering if maybe if I cap the game at 60, if that'll help. Okay, my issue I see here is that I don't see one that straight up says lock it to 60. I should change that folder. Okay, so I guess we could do this. Oh my god. We're at 12 FPS. Oh god. I like how I told the frame rate to cut down in half, and it decided to go from 120 something to 12. And there's no change whatsoever. Which I assume on the live stream that's perfectly fine because it's probably coming through perfect. Yeah, I'm actually going to watch this for a little bit. I know that, bear with me, apologies everybody else. I know this looks like ass. I just want to see something. Well, lowering the game's frame rate does seem to have caused less of a problem. Maybe the game pushing out more than 120 frames that aren't really necessary has caused an issue. That might be it. I have literally no idea as to why, though, it's having this issue. Oh, not that. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about this particular issue. Like, if I limit it to 72, why did it go down to 12? It does it again. Like, I don't understand that. If I limit it to 36, now it's down to 7 FPS.
Why is it going to like a tenth of what you set it to?
Doesn't make any fucking sense. If I limit it to 144, it at least goes back up to 137.
That doesn't make sense.
And then if I just uncap it and let it just go wild, it looks like we're hitting, even with 99% utilization, we'd still be hitting above 110. And the FPS in-game is somewhere about 140. Which, oh my god, if that didn't just eat away at my stream's ability to handle this game. So yes, it is definitely a situation where the game itself is going to cause some issues. So yeah, if I could limit the game down to 60, maybe that'll help it. But now my issue is, how do I get that to actually happen? Because every time I try to limit it to 72, it decides it's not going to stop at 72. Instead, it's going to stop at 12 and then lock to 12. Not even a joke. It doesn't go higher. It doesn't go lower than 12. If I hit it to lock at 36, it for some reason changes down to 7 and then locks at 7. Like, that is an actual slideshow. And you know what's fucked up? Back in the day, when I played Final Fantasy on my really, really crap computer, 12 FPS was kind of what I got. But I also had like extremely low settings on everything else, resolution-wise and whatnot. Maybe it just requires a restart. That might be why. Let's try that. Luckily enough, I did set it so that the stream now looks for a full screen application to be playing automatically. So if there isn't one, it won't post one to the screen. So instead it'll go to looking for a game capture. Or looking for a game to capture, I should say. Which is fine, because even if you could see my password shit, it wouldn't really change anything, since it's always censored. This shit's confusing. It's still, oh my god, it's actually creating a flicker effect that's really hurting on the eyes. This is fucking me up because it's set to 60 or to 76 being the limiter. 76 is the limiter. But the frame rate it is now getting is 21. Since the reset. The restart happened and now it's down to 21. God damn, this is ridiculous. I now realize, like, yeah, I could just lower down the frame rate of the game itself to make it a little easier to handle for the stream. Like, if I could get the game down to 60, though, that's what I want. See, what the fuck? It's happening right now. I wish I could have gotten that open faster. But, like, legitimately, the system saw that I asked it to stop at, like, 76. Oh, God, I have to do so much scrolling. It saw that the refresh rate that I currently have set is 72 FPS, being, like, the max, pretty much. So the refresh rate is currently halved. And for some reason, it's down to 12 FPS. What the logic is that? And then if I put it up to 144, the frame rate immediately jumps over 100. But the moment I do that, the stream starts having its own issues where it can't handle that much. Like, the game itself looks amazing, it's fluid and all that. But the stream, on the other hand, has an issue where it's trying to output every single one of those frames, but downing it to 60. Even with this big ass menu blocking a lot of the features that are being shown, it's still having such a hard time. And this is without a bunch of shit happening on the screen. Like, imagine that. There's not even anything really happening on the screen. Oh, God. I don't know what's going on. I literally have no clue as to how I can get this to stop at 60 without it going down to 12. Okay, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's because the 144 says refresh rate 1 to 1. Whereas the 72 one says refresh rate 1 to 2. God, what is the logic there? I turned on the limit frame rate when client is inactive. And I assumed that meant when I click away to something else. And then it went down to 17. I don't understand this logic. And uncapping the frame rate just murders the stream, obviously. Oh god, I'm gonna have to probably just drop the stream to 30 and keep it there just to not have to deal with any problems. Which kind of sucks. Because I can't find another solution that would work better. Because really, there's nothing wrong with the way the game is handling everything. The game is doing its job and it's handling perfectly fine. It's just the stream that's having an issue. What do we got? Fog coming in? Like, I literally can't turn the camera around me without having issues. God, that kind of sucks. I'm sad about it. All that work immediately dashed. Like, even if I put the stream into performance mode, meaning like all the animations and stuff that are active on it go away, and I just play the game as is, it's telling me that it's going fluid at 60. That's what it's telling me. And it's telling me that there are no frame drops now. But the problem is I have no reassurance in that that's the case. Like, so far I haven't seen the stream quality go down at all. But I don't like that. I don't like the idea of not being able to see my stream in some fashion. No, let me see. It should be easy enough to pull up my stream.
Personally, I know.
Really don't like the fact that it unmutes that. Because it shouldn't. Because everything else I have is muted. But you know, whatever. Let's turn off the readout as well, because the game in its own way is doing that. See? There we go. There's my fucking problem. Okay, it's my quality is set to 720/60. And the moment I opened up to watch my own stream to just make sure that it's running well, immediately it starts having issues. The fucking frame rate breaks down to shit. Turns into a massive slideshow. Like I don't have a computer that can handle this. That's how it's acting. And it's redonkulous. It doesn't make any sense. Like the moment that I minimize the stream pretty much and it's not the forefront, I don't see any issues. Like I'm not seeing any issues at all. Who's that? This is actually one of the areas where there's a decent amount of other players just hanging out. We're still at 60. But now our stream is apparently experiencing issues. Some minor, who knows? Actually, what's something I could do? It'd probably be really good if I should just do a dance or an emote or something. Oh god, that's right. I don't have any of my favorites anymore. Victory is in my history stuff, but it's not in my favorites. It should be in my favorites. This should also be in my favorites. Tombstone should be in there. Sam himself is always pretty good. Doze is already one of my favorites. Always one of my favorites. Alright, let's do the Manderville. Add to favorites, add to favorites. Definitely add to favorites. Add the flame dance at least. There we go. Okay, on my end on the stream, it is turned into a slideshow. Like, I'm not doing anything now. Now, what if we do the flame dance? Once again, slideshow. It's hard to not be able to preview the stream. Like, that's my problem. Because if I close it, for instance, I'm assuming if I close it, the game will automatically... The game will be fine. I shouldn't even bring up the game at all. The game is working fine. But if I close the preview, or if I close like any of the different preview windows showing me the stream, then I just leave this as is. I'm not seeing any issues. It still says we're at 60. We got the same general CPU usage. Nothing crazy there. Bandwidth is looking fine. No new drop frame issues. God damn it. I just whacked the shit out of my microphone. Apologies. But I have no clue if our stream actually looks good. Because I have no way to preview it. And it's leading me to debate whether or not it would be just more worth to drop our frame rate down to 30 FPS, do 720-30 on the stream, just to allow me the ability to preview it and whatnot, while streaming. Because I have no idea. Like like I said, I have literally no clue if this is playing at a decent enough frame rate on stream right now. I'm gonna try to open up on my phone, see if maybe that'll help. Do I have this muted? I don't, so it's probably gonna come through the mic. Oh, there we go. Got it before it actually went on. Alright, for the moment, everything seems to be running well. Literally just got a fucking notification being like, oh hey, by the way. Like, I'm trying to watch it right now to try to see if I can notice any skipped frames. Like the shark I just saw kind of skip a bit. Actually, that shark doesn't even exist anymore. What the fuck? Oh, wait, there it is. It's gone all the way around that person. I want that shark as a minion. Just thought about that. Like, generally, it seems like the stream is working okay. Like, the 60 FPS is doing fine. Oh, never mind. I didn't even have it at the 720/60. I only had it at 480. No, it seems to be working fine now. Not seeing any major issues. But my... God, I'm still cautious. I'm still very cautious. Because I have no clue of how well this is going to work when it comes to actual gameplay. Because I've literally been just in the city state, just chilling, not really doing anything. So I have no idea how well this will work like in dungeon and whatnot. Alright, I'm going to run off. Let's see how well the stream handles this. Currently the stream is doing fine in the readout. But what about the actual stream? Let's see. So far so good. It's looking okay. Alright. Just love dropping my phone. Alright. I'm gonna try to put my faith in the readouts on Streamlabs that hopefully there's not too many issues. Though it generally feels like if I want this to all work out without any kind of hitches, I might have to just drop it down to 720/30 and then it'll work perfectly fine as it did for the past couple of days. Unfortunately, at 720/60, it seems to be pushing it unless I have Streamlabs in performance mode. If I try to do anything outside of that, it just becomes a mess. Which is saddening. I was hoping there wouldn't be too many issues handling this, but there's definitely some. Alright, well, now that that's pretty much all said and done, get a little sip of water, and then, is that blocking anything? Right there, it should be fine. Alright, and now we can actually do what we're supposed to be doing. Supposed to be doing the patch story, which is this. Which I don't even know what part of the patch story I'm actually on right now. I have no clue. And I don't even know what I want to do with the patch story. Or, like, what job I should play through it. Like, I have Dark Knight definitely set to go. I've already rearranged my hotbars and everything, so I'm feeling pretty good on that regard. Gunbreaker still needs a full overview. Definitely need to go through all of this, and I actually really like my Gunbreaker. Is that the... That's not the weapon, is it? Yes, yeah, it is. The Crown's Blade. Wait, is it the finished version? No, it's not. It's the basic version. I think I have a lot of the basic version, actually. Trying to remember. Now that I think about it. Okay, that's my gunblade stuff I have to do for something else. Ruby weapon. Oh, I still haven't done this either. Oh. I haven't done like any of the old raids. Let's be real. Okay, so I know what I did. I did a lot of the I did a lot of the basic ones to get the weapons. Not that one, this one. The Scholar one, the Summoner one, the Machinist one, the Dark Knight one. And that looks like that's it. Yeah. Scholar, Summoner, Machinist, Dark Knight. Which, to be fair, I don't have... Or my Gunbreaker, I literally just showed that I have the Gunbreaker one, that's right. So because it's equipped, it's not shown, obviously, but... I got them, but they're not fully evolved, or evolved, quote-unquote. Because I haven't done this next part, the For Want of a Memory part. This is my Scholar one that it's asking for. With the copy in your inventory, deliver the memories of the dying to Zlatan. Memories of the dying. How did I get this again? Can be obtained in the field fighting in the Severn Front or from specific fates in the following locations. Oh, yeah. Is that what I think it is? Yeah, it's these ones. Which I think you need 20 of each of them, and I'm kind of shy of that. Need 7 more here, need 11 here, and I need 17 there in order to get them. Or I go to the Southern Front and get them that way. My issue is I don't know what's the better of the two options. Is it better to do the fate hopping, or would it be better just to do the Southern Front? Though the issue with, I guess, the Southern Front version is I'm obviously only going to be able to do that with level 80s, whereas if I do the Fates, since they're all in Heavensward areas, I don't have to worry about it as much. For a while I was just doing this, where I would do Blue Mage, going through all of that stuff. Just realized she's not wearing her mask. Rude. There we go. That's better. But yeah, I was pushing them to 70 while using her to go through all of the basic stuff. She has materia in here, and I completely forgot about that. It's really old materia. It's been there for freaking forever. But yeah, once she hits once she hits 70, though, this whole like Shire gear would be replaced by the 70 gear for Blue Mage and all that. There's a lot of spells here that just are not active right now, and I'm not sure if that's on purpose. I think a good portion of these just need targets, and that's why. But yeah, I was doing that in order to get those memories. So that was the original reason. And since but the issue is that fates have to be synced down to regardless. So it's questionable at best. You heal me like I can't heal. Alright, so yeah, there's a lot here. This is what I this is one of my things I really don't like about the way that they set these up with the automatic stuff, because it feels, I don't know why these are still here. Actually, I might swap those. That's provoke, actually. It should be... No, let's put this up there. Delirium. These two are just buffs. But they're more damage based, whereas these are my defensive buffs. Then there's Reprisal, which is just a damage debuff for the enemies. Debating on the necessity of some of this being on this bottom row. My normal combo is just Hard Slash into Siphon into Soul Eater. Then there's Unleash for my AoE, and then Stalwart Soul is the combo off of that. And then there's obviously these two to make sure I activate my dark side. Then these three, which I'll use Blood Gauge. My Blackest Night, which I should be using on someone at given times. Debating on if I should use it down here or up here, because it is a shield. But it's a shield I want to be using pretty often. This reminds me. HUD layout. It's just a little over too much, I feel like. There we go. And there's my dark side stance. And this is my... This is the only one of them that I have that is fully done. It's a fully done Dark Knight sword. Well, fully done for what was up to the point that I saw was available for the relic weapon. There's probably more now, but... Okay, so for Gunbreaker... Yeah, I think I'm going to try to do a similar setup as to avoid any complications. So, Super Bolide being the same thing as Living Dead, and then Reprisal and Provoke. Same place. Now, my basic combo goes Keen Edge, I'm pretty sure Brutal Shell, yep. No Mercy, shouldn't even be there. And then, there we go, Solid Barrel. Camouflage, I'm gonna put up to here because these are both defensive. No, this increases damage dealt, so let's put this down over here. It should go up here. This is my gap closer. So No Mercy we'll put over here. This is a damage defensive ability. This is an AoE dot. This comes of Demon Slice, which is this one. So put this here. Lightning shot. Okay, so with here, it went straight into AoE, then single target, then plunge. Yep. Single target, AoE, went into plunge. No, wait. Other way around. That single target, then plunge. Alright, Nebula is a defensive. I'm gonna put arm's length in here again. Should be fine there. Okay. Ugh. This would be slightly easier if I'd done this in front of like a training dummy or something so I could test all the moves out. Okay, Heart of Stone is defensive. Heart of Light is big defensive. It's a big AoE. So, those are pretty good. Allows the firing of successive rounds with your gunblade. This is actually exactly like Delirium, so boom, right there. Blasting Zone is single target. So, given the circumstances, Salted Earth and Bowshock would probably be about the same. Or Abyssal Drain. There's just no dot attached. Because it was supposed to be AoE, then Unmend Plunge is the next setup. Which if I went straight off of that, it would be Lightning Shot into Rough Divide. Making Bowshock my quote-unquote Salted Earth situation. But then we also have Sonic Break, which is a single target dot. Oh, that one's confusing. There's... Yeah, that's the partial issue there. No, we're good. We're good. Yeah, no, we're good. I'm confusing things, that's why. So this has got to go over here. So Gnashing Fang grants Ready to Rip. That comes off of Savage Claw, which is this one. So it's Gnashing Fang. Savage Claw comes off of that. Wicked Talon comes off of Savage Claw. Burst Strike is just single target, though. So maybe do that at the beginning or at the end? And the Faded Circle is AoE, but AoE that costs a cartridge. Which is what Continuation is supposed to be for, same as like Delirium. But Jugular Rip. Oh, that's gotta be like their evolved versions, if I remember correctly. Am I correct in that assumption? These are all my defensive stuff. Okay, so this is 20%, increases parry rate by 50%, and reduces damage by 10. Reduces damage by 30. So Nebula is my current strongest for reducing damage. Heart of Stone reduces damage taken by a party member by 15%. When targeting someone while under the effect of Brutal Shell, that effect is also granted, which it restores HP, so that's good. This reduces damage by 10, so we'll put that above that one. No, because Camouflage also gives parry rate, so that trumps the fact that this has 5% increased reduced damage. And then this is just a big AoE one, so same as Dark Missionary. The only problem is Dark Mind is not the same as Heart of Stone. Neither is Shadow Wall for that matter, to be fair, but Shadow Wall is the same as Nebula. Alright. Now we have Bloodfest and Aurora. Trying to figure out where I should put those. I could put Bloodfest here, as it's just an active ability to give me charges. So I could put it at front of this whole combo situation pretty much. Or I could leave it on the end as a, we did the whole combo, we used up all of our charges, so activate it again, do it again in order to do a bunch more damage. And I'm thinking Aurora is going to go on this side just because of the fact that it's a heal and these are mostly just for protections, so to speak. I think that's as good as it's going to get right now, yeah. So we have our basic 1, 2, 3 combo, which I can use on the actual keyboard if I want to. We can reach out and use our AoE combos, which will be 4 into 5. Then our long shot, which increases enmity, so same as unmend. Rough divide, gap closer. Single target dot, multi-target dot, or AoE dot, I should say. It's the same thing. Blasting zone, just single target damage. It does a shit ton of damage. Thing is 800 potency. Like that thing hits like a truck. Then No Mercy just for bonus damage, which is the same as Blood Weapon somewhat. Well, no, it's not the same as Blood Weapon because Blood Weapon doesn't give any damage bonus anymore. Instead, Blood Weapon is specifically just to restore your MP while also giving you blood gauge. Makes it easier to get the blood gauge full to actually be able to use these abilities. But Delirium and Continuation are exactly the same. They're literally just there so you can keep using your skills that cost things. Though Delirium specifically only says Quietus and Blood Spiller, so these two. Quietus the AoE, Blood Spiller single target. Doesn't allow you to use Living Shadow repeatedly because of the fact that Living Shadow has a 2-minute cooldown. So, no choice in that regard. And then these are just mana costs. Like, they cost 3,000, but the general idea is supposed to be that you pop TBN or Blackest Night onto something or someone that's about to get hit by something big. So, for instance, as the tank, as the person that's tanking you usually get in tune with how your bosses are attacking. So, when you find out what the tank buster is, usually you wait until the next tank buster, and when it's just about time for the tank buster to come up, you pop this on yourself. It lasts for 7 seconds, so the general idea is you want to be careful not to use this at the wrong time, or hope that you get hit repeatedly so it breaks the TBN quickly enough, otherwise it's a waste of mana. But when it pops, it automatically gives you 1 Dark Arts that you can use without using up MP. So like these two abilities. The Edge of Shadow or Flood of Shadow. So the general idea is if you want to keep these at 0 cost, you want to be making sure that this is on someone, gets popped, and then you'll get that little charge right there. And then you can use one of these for free. However, if your mana gets all fucked up and you end up with low mana, that's what Blood Weapon's for. For obvious reasons. Whew. Feel pretty good though. Yeah, I feel like that's gonna work. We already did Paladin, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I just did Paladin very, very different. That's the problem. I should make all of the tanks have the exact same setup to make it a lot easier on myself. This goes up here. Where's Hollowed Ground? It's right there. And Reprisal. Alright, those are all in the same boat. Fighter Flight down here because that's the damage buff situation, same as before. The 1, 2, 3 combo. This is the dot that leads off of that combo, so can't really ignore it, honestly. Shield Lob is our single target, but we do not have a gap closer in this regard. It goes AoE. What is it? It's single target combo, AoE combo, and then single target enmity. So single target combo, which extends to this number 4, unfortunately. Multi-target combo. And enmity. Or ranged enmity, I should say, right? Yeah. Then it's gap closer usually, but the gap closer for Paladin doesn't pop up for quite a while, unfortunately. Clemency we'll put up here because it's a heal. Holy Spirit, on the other hand, is not. So we'll put that one there and put for Fight or Flight on the end, I guess. A Shield Bash also stuns, so it's in the same boat as this. And then we'll move all 3 of these down. And I'm assuming Sentinel, yep. Sentinels are 30%, then are 20%. Divine Veil isn't really... it's kind of protective. Because it does reduce damage. But it's a barrier more than it is damage reduction just as a whole. So... Alright, I'm just going to put these as kind of like a 1, 2, 3 combo, and then shield lob, and then the single target. Just have to do that. I haven't gotten to 80 on Dancer, so I don't know how improvisation works. But, you know, there's that. Alright, boom, boom, boom. We're good there. So I'm going to put Clemency up here, similar to how I have Aurora on Gunbreaker. We don't have anything like that on Dark Knight because Soul Eater is part of your basic combo. So that's not going to be a thing, at least for right now. But I guess this is going to be good for now. Yeah, I think this is going to be good for now. What's going on? Oh, for Final Fantasy. Okay. I was confused. Alright, so yeah, Paladin setup done. Warrior. Ugh. Every time with these 3. Or 4, actually. Alright, Defiance is our tank stance, so we'll put that up there. Reprisal, Provoke. Where is Home Gang? And Shirk there, Interject there, Low Blow there. Rampart will usually go right there. Arms like here. Alright, that takes care of the basic stuff on that regard. Heavy Swing. This combo's off of Heavy Swing. Storm's Eye is a buff, so that doesn't go there. Okay. Or no, that's Berserk. Alright, Storm's Eye comes off of Maim, which is that one. But there's also Storm's Path. This is 26, this is 50. Okay, so go like this. No, wait, no. Yeah, no, because that's the basic combo. This is the buff combo, so this will only be used when the buff is out. That's right. Usually the next would be the AoE combo, which I think is Overpower. Yeah, into Mithril Tempest. This also reduces damage by 20%. Do I have one that's better than that? Reduces damage taken by 30%. Vengeance is the better one. So swap these. Alright, move this over here because Fell Cleave and Steel Cyclone should be over here. And Infuriate up here? No, because that's where the heals go. Infuriate is more for continuing to do crazy shit, so like on Delirium and whatnot. Thrill of Battle is for healing. Equilibrium is for healing, so we'll put that up there. Thrill of Battle is technically the same in that regard. I realized Warrior just has a shit ton of buffs. It's just like, am buff will kill. And then there's our single target ranged enmity builder, which normally followed a gap closer, right? Because it's AoE, single, then gap closer, yep. And then we have Berserk just sitting out here by itself. It doesn't reduce damage or reduce damage taken, so I don't want to put it in the top area right there. It's just a damage buff, so it'll go right here. Yeah, that makes sense. There's obviously less here because our warrior is not super high. We're one level off from 60, where we should be learning something new if I remember correctly. 60, yeah, we should be learning Decimate, which is our next AoE that costs Beast Cage. There we go. Yeah, pretty much set. I know exactly what I want to do now, though. Okay, at least I feel comfortable in this, because there's still 6 spots open at level 80, because technically they're supposed to overlap somewhat. They're supposed to not overlap, but evolve. So certain abilities are supposed to just become better abilities. Like Blasting Zone, for instance, on Gunbreaker, originally was Danger Zone. But then you level up and you get the trait Danger Zone Mastery at level 80, which makes Danger Zone into Blasting Zone. So, there's that. Alright, so Paladin. Paladin's only issue is that Fight or Flight is technically a damage buff, so it should go here. But I don't have anything that goes here, which would usually just be where I would place skills that help us just use more of our stuff, I guess. So that's kind of part of the issue. So I guess Holy Spirit will go before, and I guess that spot just stays empty. I don't really have anything to work into that spot right now. Okay, what does Intervention do? Reduces target party members' damage taken by 10%. Duration is 6 seconds. Jesus. Increases damage reduction by another 50% of the effect of Rampart or Sentinel if either are active. Okay. So if you have Rampart or Sentinel active and then you use Intervention on someone, the damage reduction is 60%? Yeah, it says another 50%. So yeah, like 60%. That's pretty good. And then cover to just take that onto yourself. Alright, Warrior is set. Scholar, I'm pretty sure we're set. Yeah, we're set on Scholar now. Astro, I set a while ago, which is very much not set the way that I had set Scholar. So I might have to redo this, unfortunately. Trying to think. Because I have it on my tanks and whatnot. I have it where my stance stuff, anything I have to activate just like once, I have it on the top row. And Astro has that as well with the sex. The sect that she has to, that they have to enter in order to do anything. But it's very different because she has a lot of stuff that is pertaining to that particular thing. Okay, so yeah, no. With my tank stuff, I made it so that their unique ability stuff would go here. Then their damage reduction stuff would go up top. And then their basic line of damaging stuff would go on the bottom. For healers, on the other hand, I want their basic damage stuff to go on the bottom, same as everyone else, but their healer stuff will go onto the second row, like I have here, and the third row is going to be what their unique stuff is. So for Astro, for instance, we have all of the card-based stuff. Which reminds me, let's move undraw to the very end because it's not going to really be used all that often. But there we go. We draw a card, we got a purple, which is ranged, which could be used on ourselves, honestly. But we have like the ability to use the card, use the minor arcana version of that card, redraw the card. We can't do divination, we don't have seals yet. Sleeve draw will just make it so I'll draw a card, which it's supposed to be that you use sleeve draw when you already have like 2 seals and you need a seal that's different. And then there's undraw just to get rid of the card. Okay. I did macro ascend in order to make it just so I could just double tap the same thing, but then I realized like if I'm already clicking on the hotbars anyways, like if I'm going to be doing clicking on the hotbars because I'm not going to be doing like keyboard and it's quote unquote keyboard and mouse, but it's like I feel like they want you to really just be using shit like this. Oop. Wait, is that a thing? Oh, that's how you select your HUD stuff. That's weird. See, this has a D-pad functionality, but that's confusing. Especially considering like the number pad should be a secondary option. Yeah, it's weird. Oh well. I don't plan on using it, so it's not a big deal. Alright. I need to uniform my healers like I did with my tanks, so it's easier to always know where I'm clicking for stuff. So the issue, okay, so yeah, no, I moved all my scholar buffs down to the bottom. So I think I'm going to do the same thing here. Just swap all these to the top. And then we will move these around so Ascend is on the end. Lucid Dreaming is there. Surecast is in the middle, even though I probably won't use it. On Scholar, I had Rescue on the second row, but I also have a crap ton of stuff for Astro that's in that second row. That is somewhat more useful. Neutral Sect is still technically a buff that is just all around. So that's fine. I just have to hope to not hit Rescue by accident. I have a macro for Ascend, and then I realized, like, what's the point if I put Swiftcast right next to it? So I might just take that off. And then macro-wise, I do still have the Ascend macro if I see that it's becoming an issue or anything like that. Also, welcome to the stream, Cross. I hope everything's coming out okay on your end, because I have no clue. Oh, I see Vita's having an issue getting onto FinFan. Alright, well, I'm done now. Astro's done. I had already organized this somewhat, so it's not a big deal. So I can move over to White Mage, which I also technically already did a decent amount of organization already. The healer stuff is already in the middle, damage stuff at the bottom. Unique to White Mage kind of stuff at the top. Well, unique to the gauge at least. Yeah, I just hope it stays that way, because it's been bumped up to 60 FPS, and it was giving me some issues before, but with Streamlabs OBS in performance mode, it's working a bit better. good. You should always be wearing a mask. I'm just gonna move these over. Put rescue there. See, these are still heals though. See, these, yeah, these should probably just end up going in the same area. Just gonna move these down a bit so they're less in the way. Move Surecast over. And actually move Surecast even more over. Damn. Oh wait, no, I can leave Presence of Mind down here, that's right. I'll move all of these up. And then put Presence of Mind there. Put Rescue there. Whew. I mean, but he says he's at work, not home, so. And we all know what people get up to at home. That's all them. Okay. Creates a barrier around yourself and or target party member that absorbs damage equivalent to a heal of 500 potency. Planetary grants confession to self and nearby party members upon receiving HP recovery. Okay, so this is also a buff, so I can actually move that down here. This will just make it so I can cast more stuff more quickly. Oh, this is similar to the thing on Astro. It's similar to the Celestial, or the horoscope. That's the one. Where you activate it, and then when you get an AoE, it gives a bonus. Because it specifically only counts for Medica, Medica 2, Cure 3, and Affluidus Rapture, which all are AoE heals. So it's the same thing. Oh. Good times, good times. Divine Benison is a shield, then air is just for MP recovery. Guess I can put Divine Benison down here. Just reorganize it like that. This is just MP recovery. So let's put it down here, actually. I could put this here. Could put it there. Oh, it doesn't count Ass Eyes, even though Ass Eyes is also an AoE heal. But it does count Medica and Medica 2 and whatnot. No, I'm going to leave it down at the bottom. I will just have to brain remember that that is how that works. But that is White Mage done. I don't know why I'm going so far. I really don't need to. Okay. Summon and then Enkindle. Aether Pact is going to be its own thing. Surecast is going to go in the same place as before. There's also Resurrection that has to be moved. There is Swiftcast. Not seeing Repose or anything. Let's put Physic up there. Summons are probably going to go over here. Oh yeah, we have Addle here instead of Repose. That's right. Addle's actually more important. Or surecast is less. Oh shit, sorry. Was not paying attention to the chat for a bit. Creamy on stream. I mean, unless you're into that. Making my validity become invalid. Your validity. I mean, that's impossible. I don't think I have the, I don't think I have the strength to do so. The power to do so, I should say. Oh, yeah. I have to reorganize these quite a bit. Summon 2 and summon 3. Okay, if I remember correctly, yeah, summon 1 is Garuda, summon 2 is Titan, and summon 3 is Ifrit. So I'll put summon 2 at the end, which I have as Topaz Carbuncle. Oh no, I took that off. Oh, maybe, no, that might be something that it just doesn't hold over. But yeah, I'll leave that at the end because, for fuck's sake, people stop using Titan Eggy when you're in a party with other people. It's not useful. It is very much a detriment. And I will continue to dislike when people do that. Okay, so there is a distinct problem here because there are some abilities that are specific to your summons. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Okay, Ruiner is a basic attack. Which one of these has a cast timer? Bio does not. Okay, so that should be the general rotation. Where is... There's Ruin 2, which I think evolves into Ruin 4, if I remember correctly. Is it this one? Nope. Enhanced Ruin 2. Yeah, there it is. Grants further Ruin upon using Eggy Assault. Maximum of 4 stacks. So yeah, Ruin 2 becomes further Ruin, so we'll leave that there. Should I leave it there? I could move it to the end because it's not going to be used as frequently. Yeah, that's good. Okay, basic summon stuff I'm going to put here just for the actual summon themselves. I need Energy Siphon to use my Aether Flow stuff. So that should come down. Bane is my spread, which I guess is fine there. Okay, I usually want to activate Dreadworm Chance to use Death Flare. There's Bahamut and Summon and all that. And this is just a buff. Tri-Disaster gives Bio and Miasma immediately. I almost never use Outburst. Let's probably trap that down. Okay. Okay, Assault 1 and 2, and then Enkindle. So, Assault 1, 2, nope. And then Enkindle. Actually, let's move this over, maybe? No, I want them easier to touch, whereas these ones being on the end is fine. Okay, so Energy Drain gives you Aether Flow 2. So does Energy Siphon. What's the difference? Deals unaspected damage with a potency of 40 to target and all allies nearby. Okay, so this one's AoE, and this one's single target. That's the only difference. Alright. Deals unaspect damage, 90. So this is also AoE. Doesn't Outburst change? I'm pretty sure it does. I'm almost positive that once you summon the Flame Bird, it changes. Here we go. Enhanced Outburst. Nope, that just increases his potency. Enter with summon Demi Phoenix, which executes the last yada yada yada. Da, da, da. No, that doesn't help me at all. What actions? Nope, those are all the other actions. I need this one. Gildal Phoenix, yada yada yada. Scarlet Flame. Okay, Fountain of Fire. Grants Hellish Conduit. Can only be executed while under the effects of both Firebird Trance and Hellish Conduit. And there's fire. Okay, yeah, here we go. Resets Tri-Disaster. Okay, that's fine. Changes Ruin 3 to Fountain of Fire and Outburst to Brand of Purgatory. Okay. That's unfortunate because it changes Ruin 3 and Outburst. So I guess I have to keep that down here so it's easy to get to. Could swap these. But Ruin 3 is like the standard part of the combo. That's the problem. I mean, I don't think I'll be using the number pad for these. I think for these, I'll just be pressing the hotbar. Especially since I'm a spellcaster, I'll be at range anyways. Let's put Pain Flare and Fester up here. And then Aether Pack is just a basic buff. Increases damage dealt. Yep, there we go. Boom, there we go. Okay, so we got a heal, which... No, that's fine. Bane just spreads Miasma and Bio to anybody nearby. Tri-Disaster. Swap those. This Tri-Disaster just gives Miasma and Bio to whatever you hit with. And then Bane spreads it. Pain Flare does an aspect of damage with a potency of 130 to target. Oh, this is just a basic AoE damage. Okay. Fester is the one I'm thinking of. So that if the target is suffering from Bio or Miasma, the potency is increased to 200 for one effect and 300 for both. So Fester does more damage if they just have both of the afflictions. And Pain Flare is just a regular ass AoE damage. So, oh, it's because it cost Aether Flow. That's why it's not lit up. That's why. Okay. So I could just leave it down here since it's a regular damaging ability. And just move these down a bit because honestly, these are just to get Aether Flow. They're not actual like proper damaging moves. Like they have their own damage, but the damage is negligible compared to what they actually give you. The Aether Flow is the important part. So that should be good. Yeah, the only issue I see is that Fountain of Fire is an instant and so is Brand of Purgatory. So I'm going to be like, Fountain of Fire, Brand of Purgatory, Fountain of Fire, Brand of Purgatory, and yada yada yada. Until eventually hitting the Enkindle. Or Revelation, which is up top here. Now that I think about it, how will that work? And Kindle Phoenix is just this one, right? So nothing else should change. I'm gonna have to test this one. This one is one of the ones I'm gonna have to definitely test. I don't see anything else that needs to be tested. Oh, I just have like 9 notifications. Holy shit. Wow, that was not even remotely what I said. Wonderful. Oh well. Been spending a lot of time just getting this shit together. Alright, Black Mage. Oh, this one's gonna be all over the place. Alright, Black Mage does not have the ability to raise, so Swift Cast is gonna hang out. I don't know what else would go with it, honestly, now that I think about it. Okay, roll stuff. Yeah, I only have the 4. So I guess I could just move it over. I'll just have to use Swift Cast for something else, I assume. Oh, fuck. That's another thing I'm going to have to do. Ethereal manipulation and between the lines are going to be like a big thing. Okay, see, this is defensive. This gives me a shield. This gives me movement. And this is also technically a buff. Let's put these down here. Because that's where that's going to go. Scathe, I might as well fucking delete it, honestly. Alright, we got... Where is... This is fire. Where's fire 2? Am I blind? Or do I have too many traits and not all of them are actually on here? Oh, yeah, no, that's right. Fire doesn't actually look like a fire symbol, of course. That's right. Okay, transpose is also going to be interesting. Let's move these down. I guess Scathe can go over here as well. Oh yeah, that's right. We do have sleep still. There's Blizzard 2. There's Blizzard 1. Blizzard 1, Blizzard 2, Blizzard 3. And then there's Thunder. 2 or 3 and then 4. Mana Font, triple cast. Oh, there's a lot here that I'm gonna have to look at. Okay, these are gonna have to be moved at least a couple down the way. Because Fire 4 goes here, and that's not Blizzard 4, that is Freeze. Where's Blizzard 4? There it is. Fuck, that's right, Freeze is a thing too. Why are there so many goddamn ice spells? Doesn't even take that long to get your MP back. The necessity of ice spells is ridiculous. Oh shit, it's raining again. Well, our frame rate looks fine at the moment. Okay, Enochian is very important, so is Transpose for that matter. But Enochian is a buff. Alright, let's see. You know what, let's move these up and we'll move Freeze into here. And just put it on the end of the ice spells and call it a day on that one. And then we'll put Transpose at the very end as a way to be like, okay. Yeah, that'll work. That makes sense to me. Okay. Mana Ward down. Mana Font. I don't like the idea of Sleep being even on here. Let's move these two over here because they're movement spell stuff. Okay, so we have Sharp Cast, we have Triple Cast, we have Ley Lines, which honestly Ley Lines should be the most important. The Sharp Cast is also pretty important. Enochian is pretty important, but it is like a single thing that has to be used. So I guess we could put it over here instead. Similar to Ley Lines, maybe? I mean, you literally can't use Between the Lines without Ley Lines. Mana Ward is just a barrier. Mana Font is for mana regen, which doesn't feel necessary. Triple Cast, quickly cast the next 3 spells without any problem. And then Sharp Cast makes it so that your next Scathe, Fire, or Thunder spell will proc whatever additional effects that they have. It just makes it so it's really easy to just be like, alright, Sharp Cast, Fire 1, which gives you the Fire Starter effect, which gives you Fire 3 for free. Gives you Fire 3 for free. Which means you'll be fully channeled. You know what, I'm going to stop doing this here. No, that's not what I want. I'm going to teleport. Here. Because that's one of the earliest places that you can get a training dummy. It's probably the best place I can go right now. Oh yeah, my chocobo. Didn't have a lot of time left. Alright, here are the training dummies. Actually, let's just work with the one on the end because it'll be easier. Alright. Black Mage is always the one that takes me a minute because there's so much to it. It'll be like Sharp Cast, then Fire 1, then Fire 3, activate Enochian, Fire 4, Fire 4, Fire 4, Blizzard 3. That's not actually how that's supposed to go, but Blizzard 3, they use Fire 3 to come back over to the fire side. To use Fire. 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 Then fire 3 to keep the Enochian still going. Fire 3 again. Foul. Lizard 3. Lizard 4 for some frozen hearts. Then back over to fire 3. Yeah, for the most part, this is going okay. Oh, I completely forgot a whole ass other step. I was supposed to be making sure that that frickin' thunder dot also stayed on. Alright, there we go. Get the general gist of it now. But the problem is there's still a lot of other things I'm ignoring. There we go. Get that triple cast in there. Oh, I think I fucked that up a little bit. Yeah, I did. Did that out of the order. Only slightly out of order, though. Black Mage is still complicated for me specifically, so I mean, that's not even super surprising. I fucked that up a bit. Damn it. Did it again. Trying to do too much all at the same time. I gotta wait, otherwise I can't use Enochian for a bit. I let it drop again. Jesus Christ. That's better. Let's try to get back into everything without me messing it up again. 2, 3. So wait, if I do it again, can I not do the other ones? Okay, yeah. That's why I wasn't doing that extra one, because I can't do despair if I lower my MP by too much. So I have to leave it at that 2k marker. So do the foul, then do the spire, then do the blizzard. Oh, that's the wrong order. It still transferred me over, but it almost kind of fucked me a little bit. Brain kind of went all wonky for a sec there. If I hadn't put those ley lines down, that would not have worked. Got an aspected benefit from somebody nearby. Oh no, my ley lines. I need to start making sure to activate those ley lines at the right time. There we go. That's better. Starting to get the hang of it again. It's definitely not perfect. I'm letting thunder fall off way too often. Which is just how I do. I got real close. There we go. That almost fucked me up real bad. Alright. That's working out pretty well. My problem that I see happening is the inability to do all of this while also moving. Which is one of this game's like big things. Like AoEs are constantly coming, and it's like you can't just sit there and do this normally inside of dungeons. So it's somewhat unrealistic. Reset the enemy. Are those mine or... No, those are someone else's. Because they're not aggro to me at all. Okay. Cool, I still have a stack of foul just sitting there. But, anyways. I did want to test Summoner out, actually, now I think about it. And we needed... Actually, we could do air for it. So we're only doing, like, single target. There's no real necessity for Garuda's multi-target. Given the circumstance, we're single targeting. Get a lot of ruin, activate that. Summon Bahamut and Kindle Bahamut. Gonna do is enkindle one more time. Do the worm wave stuff. Okay, I didn't realize that Firebird had the same situation. Oh, I didn't do the fucking combo. I'm stupid. Well, I fucked that up actually quite a bit. Summoner has like a complicated rotation anyway, so that wasn't entirely going to be a surprise, honestly. I feel like no one uses that ability. Okay, I got 2 enkindles out of it. I just didn't want to waste all my ruins. Okay. I understand that way better than I did before. I didn't do it perfect. There was a lot of mistakes that I made. For instance, I completely ignored the fact that I could reapply Try Disaster whenever it pops up, because I could just use, for instance, I could start the fight with Ruin 3 and then Try Disaster, since summoning Bahamut resets that entirely. And then on top of that, comboing these assaults together in order to stack up the further ruins, and then use all of the further ruins on Bahamut, because you'll be too busy comboing other stuff when you do when you're in Phoenix. And using Ruin 2 is gonna be your best bet, just because it'll be easier. It'll just be easier because you can use it with Bahamut for a lot longer. Whereas if you're doing it with Phoenix, you're just wasting time that you could be spending on using Phoenix's already set combo. And then in between summoning Phoenix and Bahamut, you can stack up your further ruin. Try to make sure not to let frickin' dots drop like I do every frickin' time. But see what I mean? You have an innate combo in Fountain of Fire and Brand of Purgatory, so there's no necessity to be using the further ruin idea. There we go. That was a lot better. I still messed up a little bit because Fester wasn't used all that often, like it should have been. These are kind of to be ignored. I didn't use Aether Pact either, which would have increased my damage during that fight, or for that little bit. But otherwise, not too bad. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Get effort to stop attacking. Ifrit is your single target summon. Garuda is your multi-target summon. Titan is, hey, I need defenses, so I use Titan. The thing before, back in the day when Summoner was younger, the general concept was that Titan was your tank. Because before, the minions or the summons had health bars and had aggro meters in their own regard. Now, what your minion does in terms of building up aggro and stuff goes directly to you, not them anymore, because they don't have an aggro meter, they don't have a health bar anymore, so they can't actually be targeted by things proper. You can still select them and stuff like that, but they have no health bar, so you can't heal them. They also don't have a health bar, so you can't damage them. They're literally invulnerable. You can send them away, obviously, but that's what it makes understanding your summons more important than before. Before, I mean, there were probably a lot of people that were like, oh, well, you can use whatever you want. It's like, no, you can't. It's never been that way. You can use whatever summon you feel like. Yes, this is true. This is very true. You can summon whatever you want and use that in battle. But you are effectively handicapping yourself if you're using the wrong summon at the wrong time. This is partially why Square even made it easier by making it so that you can instantly switch the summons without having to worry about a cast bar. And the cooldown to swap into another one is so short that by the time the animation finishes for the first one, you can immediately summon another one. It's just all about understanding how effective each one of these summons can be given the right circumstances. It's kind of like having to hammer in a nail, but you're over here using the back end of a screwdriver when you have a hammer right next to you. Like, the hammer is perfect for the job, but you're using the less effective method. And yes, it gets the job done, but you literally have the option to do better right next to you. That is probably the best, most accurate, like, way to put that. I don't think there's any way that I could put that any better than I just did.
Your boyfriend did.
Hmm?
The puppy out here.
Yeah, she's in your spot. So, keep in mind, Ifrit is for single target. Most of his abilities, his assault abilities, are single target. Even his basic auto attack is single target. His Inferno is different because it does hit in an AoE, but it's not meant to be AoE. His Flaming Crush, on the other hand, is an actual AoE ability, but it is the only one he has in his kit. However, Garuda, the thing is before, okay, explaining a little bit of history on the summons. Back in the day, the general idea was either you use Ifrit or you use Garuda. That hasn't really changed, honestly, let's be real. Before, it used to be Ifrit did physical damage, so you would choose Ifrit if you had a high physical party. Garuda did magical damage, so if you had a high magical party, for instance, having like a black mage or 2 black mages, for instance, you would go with Garuda instead of going with Ifrit. Or if you had black mage, red mage, or, so on and so forth. The general idea was you wanted to help out whatever partner you had with you as the other DPS. If it was a physical DPS, you'd use Ifrit. If you used a magical DPS, you use Garuda. The only time you would ever summon Titan to help you would usually be if your tank was being shit. And that didn't happen often enough for that to be warranted. But Titan had enough of a good aggro gain and defensive ability that he could potentially last long enough that if you were reviving your tank, for instance, if someone was doing a long cast revive or raise, you had enough time to have Titan handle tanking the boss until the tank got back up. That was kind of the point. Also, when you're doing like solo stuff, like say you're out in the wilderness killing mobs and whatnot, but you're by yourself, or maybe at most you have your chocobo with you. You have your little companion chocobo. There you go. This is let's get them not standing inside of each other. That'd be great. This is your party. So pretty much what this does is you are a damage dealer. But this would make it so that Titan could effectively tank for you to avoid you taking direct damage. And then your Chocobo could be your other source of either damage or being your healer, depending on how you set up your Chocobo. This was ideal for summoners when it came to doing solo stuff. But as time went on, things changed. The summons all got revamped, got changed. Especially when they removed their health bars and whatnot, all of them got changed. Because they no longer had a health bar and therefore could not be targeted, Titan's ability to gain aggro was kind of diminished. He can't hold aggro, he can't be the one to take the damage because it won't go to him, it'll go to you. And you're a DPS, you're kind of squishy, you will die. So Titan no longer gains aggro. Instead, Titan gives you defensive buffs. All of his assault abilities does damage, but also gives you some kind of damage reduction, if I remember correctly. His second assault is AoE. It seems like all of the second assaults are AoE based, but the first assault, Earth and Armor, gives you a barrier. Allows you to absorb up to 30% of your max health as damage. And Earth and Fury is a big AoE that gives you the Molten Earth around the caster, which just deals damage to any enemies that get close to you. It's pretty much, it's trying to defend you. Titan's whole ability now is to defend its caster. But when you're in a party situation in a dungeon, defending the caster isn't super necessary. That's kind of the job of the healer and the tank in combination, whereas the healer is trying to take care of everybody and the tank is trying to make sure that everyone doesn't get hit. So Titan's ability to do so by protecting the you is now once again only really effective in situations like this, where your party consists of just you, your chocobo, and Titan. But a lot of people, I think, got this misconception that when you're playing a summoner and you realize, oh, well, I have summon 1, summon 2, and summon 3. Summon 3 must be the most powerful, right? Or summon 2 is definitely more powerful than summon 1, right? And it's like, no. Because that's not how that works. That's not even how that works based on normal spells. For the most part, that is usually the case. But for a while in the idea of Final Fantasy, certain numbers for spells just changed how that spell worked. For instance, we were just on Black Mage just a second ago. We'll switch real quick right now. Fire 1 is single target. Fire 2, however, is AoE. And Fire 3 goes back to single target again, and Fire 4 is single target as well. Blizzard 1, single target. Blizzard 2, AoE. Blizzard 3, single target. Blizzard 4, single target. And Freeze is just AoE, but ice. Over here we have Thunder. Thunder 1 and Thunder 3 are single target. Thunder 2 and Thunder 4 are AoE. Just to put a point to the idea that numbers don't always mean the bigger one is always the stronger one. It's not always the case. It depends on what the number is. And when it comes to summons, you're supposed to be thinking constantly. The summon, I would say Summoner is probably one of the most complicated DPSs there is because of how much stuff you constantly have to look at. The Summoner rotation is the longest rotation in the entire game to my knowledge. Because you just saw me go through a full rotation of what Black Mage looks like. Black Mage's rotation is pretty simplistic. It is literally like the easiest you could remember. Pop Sharpcast, pop Fire 1. You can now pop Fire 3 for free. It doesn't cost that much MP. Activate Enochian so you can start using Fire 4. Use Fire 4 until your timer is going to run out. Pop Blizzard 3 to switch over to your Umbral Ice phase. Pop Blizzard 4 because you're under Enochian to get the Umbral Hearts, which will make it so that your 3 casts of fire will be at their lowest point, so they won't cost as much MP. Now, once you're in this ice phase, you can do your thunder spell because your MP drain in the fire phase is continuous. Once you're out of MP in your fire phase, that's it. You're out of MP entirely until you switch over to the ice phase. And in the early levels, there's no real easy way to do that and keep all of your stacks of everything in check without using either transpose, which also doesn't immediately mean everything carries over, or switching back and forth once you got the traits unlocked. Like as you saw, I swapped back from fire to ice, and remained with 3 stacks up in this top area because there's a trait for that. But the basic rotation is fire, use up all of your MP, then switch to ice, gain all of your MP back, pop in thunder for your dots, and then every so often throw in little bits here and there. For instance, going into fire phase, pop ley lines so that your fire phase can cast faster, so you can get most of your damage out a lot quicker. Or while you're in ice phase, about to switch over to fire phase, once again, you can pop triple cast. Pop it right after you pop fire 3, therefore your next 3 fire 4 casts will be instantaneous each time. Are you getting kind of low on mana and you don't want to have to pop directly into your ice phase? There's Mana Font. I don't know why you would, but there you go. There's also a swift cast if you think your number is getting, or your counter is going to get too low and you're about to lose Enochian, which you need to keep up 100% of the time. You can swift cast, do a fire 3, boom, your timer goes back up to full and start doing your fire 4. But that is your basic rotation. Fire, ice, fire, ice, fire, ice. with the general mix of thunder in between and foul and despair when you have them available. But that's a very simple rotation. It is super simple. Whereas Summoner's rotation is long. Because Summoner's rotation is just pretty much like, obviously you should already have your summon out. This part doesn't count. But you're going to literally start off Ruin 3, Miasma 3, Bio 3. You now have your damage, you have your dots, all up on your enemy. While that's going, you want to be using Ruin 3 into your assaults, back and forth to stack up your further ruins. Once you get up to 4 stacks, then you can use Dreadworm Trance into Death Flare. Then you can replenish your, you can use Trididaster to replenish your dot stacks. Then summon Bahamut, Enkindle immediately because you usually get 2 uses of this while they're summoned. Not much more than that. The timer is kind of long, unfortunately. And their summon is only for 20 seconds. So you literally will only get 2 of these. But summon them out. Use up all your further ruins as to make sure Bahamut is casting its Worm Wave attack repeatedly as much as possible. You're doing a lot of damage. Then Enkindle. Do your twice Enkindles. Make sure that your dots are still up the whole time. Swapping back around. By this point, you could have thrown an Aether Pact anywhere in between and used Energy Drain to get your Aether flow in, which you could honestly start there and then do the rest of this just to have it up. Then while your Dreadworm or your Phoenix Trance is loading up, Firebird actually, you can go into Ruin, make sure your dots are still up. You can do more assaults if you want to get your further ruins up. Do some Fester in between there. Do some Plane Flares, some Energy Siphons to make sure this is still up. Aether Pact. Once that's up, then activate Phoenix. Then activate the Phoenix combo where it replaces your Ruin 3 and your Outburst. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Making sure you get 2 Enkindles off before it's gone. And then once it's gone, you're all the way back at the beginning of the situation. Summoner has the longest rotation in the game to my knowledge, because as far as I know, all the other rotations can be either boiled down to an extremely simple state or are not too difficult to remember. Black Mage looks complicated because of how many spells you're having to go back and forth through, but it's no different than like if you were on Red Mage, for instance, which by the way, I do need to fucking do this stuff to it. Because the idea with Red Mage is you're literally just doing a normal jolt to get black and white mana at the same time, but then comboing off of that into a black spell or a white spell, whether it be like Ver Thunder, Ver Arrow, stuff like that. And you want to make sure that you're equaling out this bar of white and black mana equally. Then you hit 100%, then you go and do your melee combo, boom, 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 there you go, done. That's it. Red Mage is really simple in that regard. You do white magic, black magic, back and forth until it's full. Do your melee combo, finisher on that, and you're all set. Pretty easy. Similar to the Black Mage's idea of doing fire, then ice, then fire, then ice, then fire, then ice, over and over again. And that's just how that is. Magical rotations broken down to their minimum. Summoner is the only one that you can't just say, oh, it's just this, then that, then this, then that, over and over again for the whole time. It's the only time where that doesn't work. Because Summoner literally has to be, alright, you're doing your basic rotation, adding on your dots, doing your assaults, getting your further ruin stacks, then going to Dreadworm Trance, do your Dreadworm Death Flare, then summon Bahamut, Enkindle Bahamut, blah blah blah, and you keep going, and it just keeps going up and up and up until, boom, eventually you fall off the tower and end up back at the ground floor where you're starting all over again. The other mages don't say that. They don't have that kind of rotation. And for healing rotations, 90% of the time it will depend on the situation. Tank rotations are the easy ones, because tank rotations are literally walk up, fucking whack. 1, 2, 3, whack. If it's an AoE, if you got a bunch of enemies around you, you do your AoE combo. Or you do your single AoE attack. If anything, add on like little buffs here and there that you need to keep going. For instance, like with Dark Knight, you want to make sure your tank stance is on. Then you're going to walk up and just start doing your base whack. Doing your good whack. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Now we're getting our blood gauge going, which is necessity. In between, we throw in an edge of shadow in order to get our dark side going, which increases our damage. And then you keep on going, trying to get that blood gauge up to full. Honestly, could use blood weapon here to make it a little easier. You get your blood gauge a little faster. Boom, there you go. Make sure to keep up your dark side. If you were fighting an actual opponent that had the ability to do damage to you, you could pop Blackest Night on yourself to try to get a free chance at using Edge of Shadow or Dark of Shadow, whatever you feel like. Then you got your gauge completely full. You can pop your single target over and over again. Boom, do some damage in there. Keep up your Edge of Shadow. And this is it. There's not really anything that crazy about it. Occasionally you pop down like an AoE here or there, like these, depending on what's going on. But it's very simple. You'll be pressing 1, 2, and 3 almost the entire time. like you will not see much difference in the overall rotation when it comes to like the tank stuff. Because 9 times out of 10 it's either keeping this bar as full as possible or keeping some minor buff up. I say minor. Dark side or dark arts is specifically just to keep you doing as much damage as possible while also keeping you at the top of the aggro list pretty much. But the benefit is that, for instance, with the Dark Knight, their basic rotation has right there an MP recovery and then right there an HP recovery. So even though you use 3000 MP, you're gonna get it back. And then there's times where you can just throw out like Living Shadow, for instance, or you can use Delirium to use as much of these as you want. Just keep mashing it out while you have that dark side going. Until eventually you're out. And then boom, you did a shit ton of damage in that process. But this is all just about doing a little extra damage. Your basic rotation is 1, 2, 3. With a couple of little moves thrown in here and there, but most of those moves are like basic. They become second nature. Like that's pretty much it. And it's the same. What the fuck? Oh, I left click, that's right. Okay. Let's move away. I literally can't select the other thing. Alright, do that one. Let's reset this one first. And then there we go. Get him to stop attacking, Jesus. But that's tank. It doesn't matter what tank you're playing, they all do the same thing. The minor differences are like, for instance, with Paladin, your rotation will be 1, 2, 3. But once you get up to the level where you have things like Goring Blade, for instance, which is a dot, you'll be doing 1, 2, 4 to do the dot damage, or to get the dot placed first. Then you'll do your 1, 2, 3 while the dot is active. Same goes for Circle of Scorn, which is another dot. Most of the time, I try to do 1, 2, 4 to get my single target dot up, and then use my AoE dot, then go back into the 1, 2, 3 combo. Just because it's really easy. I'm glad I could help. Tank is literally the role that you could play that is the most easy, because if you're messing up 9 times out of 10, if you have a good enough healer, your fuck ups will not be noticed. There's no reason to fear being a tank. It looks like it's the most complicated because they have probably the most important role of the squad, when it comes to making sure enemies don't hit your partners. But at the end of the day, their combos are very simple. Their basic rotation is super simple. Literally, it just comes with some practice. Practice is usually all that you really need. Like, whether it be Paladin, Dark Knight, Warrior, Gunblade, or Gunbreaker, not Gunblade. 1, 2, 3 will be your bread and butter. If anything, if you got a bunch of enemies, you do the AoE combo, that's it. It keeps your aggro up, and you're good. At most, the only things that will pop up that might scare you is, one, your health getting kind of low, so you worry about whether or not you should do something about that. Good rule of thumb, if your HP hits below like 50%, pop maybe Rampart, or if you got a lot of enemies, try not to hit below 70% before you pop maybe your big damage reduction. So, for instance, with Paladin, it's Sentinel. With Gunbreaker, it's Nebula. With Dark Knight, it's Shadow Wall. With Warrior, it's Vengeance. They all have one. It's a 30% damage reduction. At least in the case of Warrior, it has bounce back damage where they'll take a little bit of the damage they hit you with. So there's always that as well. But a lot of times, it's just, if you have a lot of enemies, pop your actual cooldown. Whereas if you have just a few enemies, but your healer's not keeping up with you as well, maybe pop your Rampart, which all of them have, so it's never a worry. If you have self-healing, like for instance, Paladin has Clemency, you pop that just to give them a little bit of an easier time healing you. Or in the case of Paladin as well, Paladin is probably the best friend to healers, because Paladin has its own self-healing with Clemency, but it also has Divine Veil, which, as most healers are going to be healing you, Divine Veil's ability to give everyone a barrier winds up being extremely helpful. The healer doesn't have to heal as many people when they already have a barrier to help protect them a bit. But it's the easiest rotation you could possibly think of. At most, the biggest thing I feel like would scare a lot of people is when to use your not die move. And a lot of the times, I would say, if you're pulling a shit ton of enemies, have that ready. Because 9 times out of 10, if your healer is not prepared to handle that much, you are going to hit low percentages very quickly. Have your not die move very prepared. And when you hit like maybe the 25% or 30% marker, pop it then, just in case. Yes, they all have really long cooldowns, but chances are, if you're doing a really big pull, you've already grabbed a good portion of enemies. You're just going to end up killing all of those enemies, getting through that pull, and then going to a boss. Not, like, almost every single time, you'll have finished up all the ads and you'll just be going into a boss fight. So you won't always need the not die move, because most bosses don't hit nearly hard enough for that to be the case in basic dungeons. Like, there are a couple mechanics here and there that can really mess you up, and your not die move would be really good. But because people do big pulls on the standard, keeping your not die move handy is just a really good thing. Though I will say, if you're playing Dark Knight, probably macro your not die move. I need to do that, but what I say by saying macro your not die move, I mean, make it so that when you activate this, that you let your party know that you've activated this. Because unlike with the other, well, probably do this for Gunbreaker as well, actually. Unlike with Paladin and Warrior, when they use their not die moves, Paladin, for instance, just activates Hallowed Ground. It takes a second to actually register, so be careful about that. But then it just makes it so you don't take any damage. Holmgang makes it so that you can't fall below 1 HP as long as Holmgang is connected. However, Holmgang requires you, for a warrior, clarify, it makes it so that you can't go below 1 HP. However, you also can't move, because it activates a chain between you and the person and the enemy that you used it on. If that chain is broken, Holmgang is no longer active. So be careful. However, with Gunbreaker and Dark Knight, I would recommend using a macro on your particular not die move, because Super Bolide will scare the living shit out of your healer if they are not ready for it. And if you do not have a message that goes along with your macro, you're going to end up doing a little something like this, where you run up to the boss, you start whacking away, and you're doing your good tank duties, and then all of a sudden, oh no, I might die. Then you pop this, and boom, now you're down to 1 HP, and everyone is losing their goddamn mind because they think you're going to die. Yeah. Try not to scare the shit out of your healers. Please. Put a macro with Super Bolide. It is very much helpful. It will save some heart attacks. It has a long cooldown as per the normal not die moves, but it is the only one that does that. Also, I don't know if they fixed this. I'm pretty sure they have by this point, but it used to be that Super Bolide would send you down to 1 HP and then make you invulnerable, which meant that there was a couple frames where you could potentially take damage and get killed. When they first introduced Gunbreaker, I assume they fixed that. Fingers crossed, I hope they fix that, because that would suck if that was still a thing. But yes, macro your Super Bolide to not give your healer a heart attack. On the other end of the spectrum, the issue with Dark Knight's situation is that, unlike with Gunbreaker where it's obvious, Dark Knight on the other hand has Living Dead, which, by the way, I didn't realize that, but they apparently share a recast timer across all classes, except Home Gang, apparently. Interesting. But yeah, Paladins is currently on cooldown. Super Bolide and Living Dead is all on cooldown. Huh, weird. But Living Dead is the one I would recommend doing your macro for first. Gunbreaker with its Super Bolide also needs to be, but for Living Dead it's a different circumstance. The idea is you activate Living Dead. It stays on the character for 10 seconds. If the Dark Knight would hit 0 HP during those 10 seconds, instead, they will remain alive with 1 HP. Similar to Home Gang, they won't hit 0, they'll hit 1. And it'll stay that way. However, now that they've technically hit that 0 marker, they become Walking Dead, which you get for 10 seconds. Alright, see you later. You get Walking Dead for 10 seconds, which means you have a 10-second span where the Dark Knight has to be healed to 100%. This is the scary part. Because if the healer isn't notified that the Dark Knight used this ability, and the ability may have gotten popped, they may not recognize automatically that they need to heal you to full. Like, obviously, when a character hits pretty much 0 HP, when a tank hits almost 0 HP, or regardless of the character, I should say, regardless of the role, if you almost hit 0 HP, your healer's obviously going to pay a lot of attention to you. However, in this circumstance, the healer may not have the availability, or maybe they might not see that you're Walking Dead, and you only have 10 seconds before your not die move just turns you into dead. Because now you have a timer, you have a countdown timer until you just fall over. In the case of White Mage, at least, you have the benefit that White Mage has Benediction, which automatically puts you back to 100%. So it's an automatic clear of your Living Dead situation. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like, White Mage has its own other heals, obviously. Like, we have Tetra, that's 700 potency. You have Cure 2, which is only 450, but it could take a little while. But you do definitely have fucking Benediction as your go-to for that case. What is it? Yeah. Solace also does 700, so you could Tetra and then Solace. And if you have a couple Solaces stacked up, you could definitely do it. It's easy enough to do. But those are your options. White Mage has the easiest time in that regard. However, the same cannot be said for the other two healers. In the case of Astro, you now have the ability, once you get to level 80 at least, you have 2 charges of Essential Dignity, which is your strongest heal in your book. The problem with this one is that as you can, if you probably can read that, the current potency is only 400. Basic. Just at the baseline, it's at 400. The more HP the enemy is missing, the higher that will go to a maximum of 1100 potency, that's a really strong heal. 1100 potency is really high. However, I feel like the only reason they did that is because of the fact that you could end up with a tank that hits 1 HP, and since tank health right now can go well over 100k easily, just with base gear, that was done in a way that if they do hit 1 HP, you can pop Essential Dignity and it'll work better. The fact that it's on a charge as well is even better, because it means that you can pop 1 to get a good way full, and then the second one should finish it off. So for Dark Knight, Astro at least is the easier time if they have the 2 charges. If they don't, unfortunately, Essential Dignity will have to do off of its base, and then you'll have to finish healing the rest, which hopefully shouldn't be too difficult. If your tank hits 0 HP practically, a lot of times it's like a tank buster or something, so you usually don't have to worry as much. But lastly, we have Scholar. Scholar was my main when it came to my healers. Scholar has its own problem, I feel like, because Scholar's big single target heal is Lustrate. If you can read the detail, Scholar's Lustrate is only a 600 potency. Now, that is 200 higher than Astrologian's Essential Dignity. However, it's only on a single is only a single version. It does not have a charge to it, so you can't have 2 of them. And 600 potency may not be enough to fully heal a tank that lost all of their HP. Indomitability is a similar idea, but that's specifically for AoE. It's more like Assay's from White Mage. But the other issue is that Lustrate requires an Aether Flow. So one of the issues is that, let's say you go in as a Scholar into a dungeon. You're tanking it, and your tank is tanking a boss, and eventually you do all your basic stuff. For instance, like let's say we do it right now. We activate our Aether Flow. We're going in. We're popping XCOG and whatnot onto the things. We pop down a Sacred Soil to make sure everyone's protected and getting regens. And we see that our tank is getting kind of low. So we pop a Lustrate to give them a good heal. Chocobo died. Now, the problem is that now I have 30 seconds that I have to wait before I get my Aether Flow. And my tank just took a shit ton of damage. It is possible to, unfortunately, have this circumstance happen where you might have already used the abilities, and these things will happen. Dissipation is just to get rid of them. So this is also technically another option you could do. You could pop Dissipation. It'll get rid of your fairy for a short period of time, but it'll give you your full Aether Flow. So you could potentially pop Lustrate again. The one thing I will say, I guess, is the best, is the fact that Lustrate, as far as I know, doesn't have much of a cooldown. So as long as you have Aether Flow, you could just keep using it over and over again. So potentially that could be just as good, if not better, just off of that. The unfortunate part is either you're sacrificing most of your Aether Flow to heal your tank up to full, meaning your other Aether Flow abilities are pretty much non-existent, or you sacrifice your fairy for a short period of time, meaning extra healing is not going out, in order to make sure your tank gets full healing off of your Lustre from those Aether Flow charges. Generally speaking, the only issue I see, as I said, is just the fact that because your fairy will be gone, you'll lose some healing. And by the time your fairy comes back, you should have Aether Flow again, so you should be able to just do it yourself. So, I don't know. Maybe it's a little better than I remember, but I definitely worry a lot when it comes to like the Dark Knight's Living Dead situation. It will always worry me considerably. But yeah, it's just macro your Living Deads and your Super Bowloids to let your teammates know that, hey, you popped this, and that it should be on the lookout for the possibility of your almost death. So just keep that in mind. A little bit of a reminder. What else is there really to go over? Or actually, I should probably just go back to doing this stuff. Oh no, wait, there was something I wanted to test on Scholar, wasn't there? I think there was. What was it? This was just a big burst heal, I should say. Which won't really... It's not really something I care about. Oh yeah, it was deployment tactics. That was the one I wanted to test out. So, extends galvanize effect cast on self or target to nearby party members. So, if I did recitation and then Adlo, then deployment tactics. Okay, so yeah. They don't get the catalyzed shield, but they get the galvanized shield. Okay. Actually, that's another good way that you could heal. Pop emergency tactics and then use Adlo. Emergency tactics will make it so that your Adlo, instead of giving a shield, will just give more health. I like Scholar. I just like pets, honestly. That's the reason I liked Scholar. It's because I like having a little fairy or Ifrit or Garuda helping me out with doing damage or healing. We should finish up going through our hotbars, honestly, because there's a non-zero chance that I'm going to want to do these things, and then they're just going to not be available because I didn't fucking fix my bars ahead of time. Because I do that. Okay, let's do melee combos up and spells down below. Okay, Korokor is the rush. Displacement is going to be the end. Jolt is definitely a starter. It's, if I remember correctly, yeah, Verthunder and Verarrow are my long cast black and white spells for that particular thing. And then Verstone and Verfire are the ones that can just trigger on their own. Actually, we can do that. Just do that. Boom. Fletch and Contra 6. We have heals as well. You can leave those ones there. Put acceleration over there as well. Okay, so it's riposte, switch out, and then redoublement, and then displacement, usually the finisher. Oh, okay, this is the AoE one, that's right. I feel weird about this one because I don't really understand the necessity of an AoE melee attack. Like, I get it, but I also don't get it. Because I'm like, why wouldn't I just keep using my AoE spells? So, I mean, I don't know. I guess you could rush in and then just use the AoE over and over again. I don't think I've actually ever really used it myself, so I don't even know how effective it is. Okay. These are all single target. And these are all AoE. So we can just do like that. Because though the issue is that Impact has a long cast. But for Thunder and for Arrow have a short cast. Interesting. So instead of starting with Impact on the AoE side, it'd make more sense to do it like that. To keep it balanced. Use for Thunder, then Impact. Then for Arrow, then Impact. Yeah, that makes sense. Or use Jolt into for Thunder for single target, Jolt into for Arrow. And generally just keep it balanced. Though if you get a proc for one of the basic ones, try to make sure to keep that balanced as well. Dual cast is just so great. Boom, 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 boom. And then Verholy or Verflare. It honestly depends on your choice. Yeah, damn. This is not triggering like at all. That sound effect is really fucking loud. Jesus. Boom. Let's say we just use the AoE. Do a lot more of the AoE. But it doesn't give the combo effect, does it? Huh. Hmm. Yeah, it's going okay. It feels weird that the AoE combo is literally just the actual spell and then the impact, which gives both. Just feels odd. Okay, so acceleration just makes it so that you trigger the bonus of Verfire and Verstone. Embolden is just the increased buff for everybody, and Manification. Yeah, Manification is the one where you activate and then boom, you can be pretty much full. Yeah, these are all the AoE stuffs. And then there's Vercure, just off by itself. I actually don't know where I want to put Vercure because it's kind of its own thing, really. I could put it up here, I guess. Because, I mean, that's all it's really going to be used for. Oh, Verfire just stopped being ready all of a sudden. You could yeah. You can raw cast all of these as well in case you want to relive the days of being a black mage, pretty much. I think Verflare, if I remember correctly, is an AoE where I think Verholy is single target. I don't know. I'm assuming, but alright, put away the weapon, Jesus. Alright, well that's all said anyways. Blue Mage is a whole clusterfuck there. I don't even know what I'm going to do with that one. Machinist I should definitely fix. If I remember correctly, I already fixed Ninja. Yeah, I already fixed Ninja. Samurai's already fixed. For the most part. Monk is not fixed. It is still kind of a mess. I still need to go through it, honestly. I think I might do that. This is literally just a gap closer, so it's like I have no clue. I have no clue where I want to put these. Perfect balance is pretty much like True North, honestly. See, my problem is this is where I was keeping a lot of these role-based ones. I'll probably have to reorganize it again. Okay, you know what? Let's move this down here. And then move these up here, swap those, move that one and that one. And then move these up here. Because these are specifically for healing, and these are more situational depending on the circumstance. Hello? Alrighty. Food's gonna be done pretty soon. Increases HP recovery via healing actions by 10%. Oh, that works like, yeah, that could go right there. Use that and then use one of these. Oh yeah, perfect balance. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Machinist is the other one. Yeah, I definitely needed to look at because this one had a crap ton of stuff that I'm like, everything's all over the place. I'm gonna move this. Okay, so split shot, slug shot, clean shot is supposed to be the 3 combo. Okay, I'm just gonna do this up here. That makes enemies heavy. That's a bind, that's a silence. Second wind. Peloton should honestly be used like non-stop. This should be always situation. Wait, what? Why are you even attacking that particular dummy? That dummy literally wasn't the one I even selected. Like, it wasn't even targeted. Also, Peloton is not an active maneuver. Why? Why does it keep attacking that particular dummy? Peloton is just a movement ability. It's not an active ability. That's so weird. Oh well. Okay, reassemble is a buff. Let's move that over there. Where is our... There it is. Ricochet. Okay, air anchor is a single target one. Bioblaster is AoE. Flamethrower is AoE. Increases battery gauge by 20. So it's literally just a single target that increases battery gauge. Yep. Okay, so this should go over here. Might put this one up here. Gauss rounds just do damage, and that's literally it. They're just damage for the sake of damage. That's it. Drill shares a recast timer. That's also just damage. Doesn't even increase the battery gauge or anything. It is just damage. Bioblaster at least gives us damage over time. Reassemble is a buff. Barrel stabilizer is technically a buff somewhat. It just increases the heat gauge by 50. Tactician is a defensive buff. Machinist feels like it has a lot less abilities than I feel like it should. It's weird. This is to summon the queen. This is to have her do her overdrive. Is it because she does she have like her own pet bar? Is that why it is? Maybe. Because this is AoE, this is single target, but those require the battery to be activated. Right? Or no, you have to be overheated, that's right. Yeah, you activate hypercharge to become overheated so that you can use these two. And this just requires battery gauge period in order to use. And this just can't be used outside of combat, which is fine. Okay. Assuming we did this correct. This would be the 3. Honestly, we could just throw these in there. What increases the battery gauge now that I think about it? Oh, yeah. If you combo 1, 2, 3, it increases the battery gauge. That's literally it. Oh yeah, air anchor also does that. I'm doing. I wonder if she does that automatically. I can't remember, honestly. Now the general idea, do the combo. Occasionally throwing in your single target stuff. Or multi-target, depending on your choice. Yeah. Machinist is not all that complicated. At least I feel like not for me. There's not that much on this bar. Having everything right in front of me instead of having to worry about flipping through pages of stuff in order to find what I'm looking for, I guess makes it slightly easier. Okay, what is the 1, 2, 3 of this one? Alright, we need to unlock this. So we can move this up here, move this up here. Is that the way I did it? Oh. This is AoE, right? Yeah. So is this. And that. And that. What? Is there no... Oh, that's what it is. Okay. That's gonna be a little off. Yeah, that's gonna be weird. Yeah, it's so weird because it's so random. The answer is literally like all over the place. Is that the basic combo? Yeah, that combo's off of that. Yeah, I think that's as good as it's gonna get. I don't really... To be fair, it's only level 70 or almost level 70. So, I mean, I feel like there should be more, but I don't know. It's kind of all over the place, though, so I guess I'm glad there's not more, honestly. Hmm. Chocobo hit it literally before it left. Oh, wait, no. It's the other one. There we go. Yeah, that should be good. 52, 56, 62, and that one's 50. But I like having the standard step at the very beginning. Should I keep it up top here or keep it down lower? Because I feel like I might want to move it down here and then move these across. And then move en avant to the beginning. Then have the step be closer to the actual steps themselves. I guess that's good for now. I should probably, put this up here because this is kind of necessary for all the rest of these to work. Like, the dance doesn't even need to be done, but if I don't have this going, then these are kind of only usable on me. Yeah, no, that's fine. Let's swap it over Bard. Wait, did I already take these things off of Dancer? I must have. I guess I must have switched that and swapped them off already, so it wasn't a big deal. Weird. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, heavy shot is our basic. Straight shot only can be fired when it's available. So it feels like the range DPS have this weird obsession with, or at least Dancer and Bard at least, have this weird obsession with not having a straightforward rotation for some weird reason. Okay, so this is AoE, this is repelling shot. Jump away from target. I think I'll put that up here. Songs, I guess I'll put up top. Wind bite is dot. So maybe I'll put this up here as well. This is a buff, so we'll put that over here. Technically, Zoe's Mage's Ballad somewhat, but just a regular, it does 150 potency, and that's it. And then this is an AoE. Okay. I see. I think I understood what I was doing the whole time. I kind of want to try out more Bard, but I feel like every time I do, I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay, so straight shot or heavy shot is our basic, just shoot. It is going to be our always use this one. We don't have a 1-2-3 situation on this one though. Instead, we have Bloodletter, which has a 15 second cooldown, but that can be mitigated by use of songs, apparently. Straight shot is just a proc thing. There's a 20% chance heavy shot will allow for straight shot. So I'm like, should I put that there then? Yeah, I guess that'll work. I guess I'll leave repelling shot there, and I'll put my songs all on top here, and I'll leave my dots there as well because I don't have all that many moves to begin with on Bard, so this is fine, I guess. Okay, so what's up with Mage's Ballad? Grants Mage's Ballad to all party members within 30 yalms, increasing their damage dealt by 1%. Okay, lasts for 30 seconds. 20% chance to grant repertoire when damage over time is dealt by a venomous bite or wind bite. Resets the recast timer of Bloodletter and Reign of Death. So that's how that works. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much what I figured. So generally speaking, I probably want to use Venomous Bite, Wind Bite before using Mage's Ballad, so that the full duration of these two will be happening while Mage's Ballad is active. So I can constantly keep hitting Heavy Shot, and then hopefully, if everything goes well, I'll be hitting Heavy Shot, Straight Shot, Bloodletter, Heavy Shot, Bloodletter, Heavy Shot, Straight Shot, Bloodletter, and stuff like that. So I should constantly have these going, at least for like 30 seconds. This is an 80-second recast timer, though, which is unfortunate. I kind of wish that the songs were more, like, permanent, I guess. That you could just activate a singular song and just have it going for a long period of time. But, oh well. Ninja, I've already done. Samurai, I've already done. Actually, no. Now that I remember, I just remembered, too. I need to put Limit Break on my bars. It's literally not on any of them. It's on General. Okay, so it's here on Ninja. I have it right there. Just dead center so I can remember it, but I don't know if I should keep it there or not. I have to move it. But anyways. Switch over to Dark Knight, and we will put it in generally the same place, just on the end of the roll-based stuff. The only reason I'm adding it to the tank stuff is just because, yeah, there we go. That feels better now. Only reason I'm adding it there is because there are some like raids in which tank having Limit Break available is always generally useful. That feels better now, I guess. Warrior, Limit Break. Limit Break, ooh. Yeah, put that stuff there. And that's all of them. Healers have a distinct pleasure that in most raids they are the one that uses the Limit Break, but only the level 3 Limit Break. Now my issue is I'm going to have a hard time trying to figure out where to put it every time, because my bars are kind of all over the place in a lot of the cases. I was thinking I could just do that and then swap it here. But no, it feels weird to do it that way. Let's put it on the end there, I guess. Or could do this way instead. Since these are pretty much not used in a common circumstance. Alright, Astro. Kind of doing a similar idea where Rescue and Limit Breaker in the same area because they won't be really used. Alright, White Mage. Same deal. Pop it right there. Summoner. Pop it up top. Black Mage. Same thing. Put that there. Makes me feel better now. Red Mage. Same thing up top. Blue Mage doesn't have the same thing. I think technically I could put Limit Break on here, but it would be odd on where I would put it. Alright, put it there. That's good. Here, same thing right there. That one might create a problem. Okay, this doesn't even need to be all the way over here. Arms length is usually one of those ones that I'm like, I'm not going to use it all that often. Should I just put it here? Yeah, I'll put it down here for now just to leave that empty, I guess. No, I could put it up here. I'll put it up there for now, just to keep it uniform with the others. Alright, once again, right there. Samurai, or ninja, we already have that. Samurai, however, put it right there. Monk, same thing. Dragoon, one of the ones I haven't actually messed with yet. I think I did say I wanted to level Dragoon, actually, now that I think about it. I think I remember saying, like, yeah, I wanted to work on doing Dragoon. This feels like I did mess with it, didn't I? I did. Yeah, for sure I did. Because these things are all moved around. This is range. Put this up here. This increases damage dealt, so it's a little buff. These are all for healing, right? Ensures critical damage for the first weapon skill used while life surge is active. Duration absorbs a portion as health. Yep. And then this is just a buff. So pop up top. And then this is my basic combo, with this one being a buff combo. And then throw spear. I guess we'll put that one up top here. And we move this right there. And that is all my classes having limit break now. And also having all of their stuff rearranged so that it feels better. Yeah. So I can lock this now. And I also don't have to worry about the clicky sound. I was gonna go through like story stuff, but it is kind of late. And I'm gonna have to make food soon. Damn, this sucks. I don't know what I should do. I was leveling monk, and I've got like this urge to either do bard, dragoon, or monk. If I do dragoon, I can just do pokey stick, which is fun. Or I could do bard, do bowman. That would be cool. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out, honestly. We've been going for 3 hours. Well, it's like, okay, hold on. It's 7:30. What time did I put in the food? It's probably been enough time by now. Yeah, actually, we're going to cut the stream here because your boy needs to eat. Food is good for you. Food will always be good. So yeah, we're gonna cut it here. I'm assuming because this isn't in editor studio mode or whatever, that the Be Right Back has switched over, hopefully. Alright, yeah, it shows that it is. Alright, so now that we're on the Be Right Back screen, apologies. But that's going to be it for the stream. If I do play something later tonight, we will see. And then maybe we'll stream a little bit something more. I have no idea what, though. Depends on people's. But we will see. So everyone have a good evening, good afternoon, good night, depending on where you are. Thank you for tuning in, for those of you that did. I appreciate every single one of you. And have a great rest of your day. And stay tuned for more nonsense either tomorrow or later tonight. Bye bye.